What's up, guys? Welcome back to the page. So in this video, I'm going to talk to you guys about how 5 years ago when I was 20 years old living in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, one thing that I didn't have was a solid morning routine. And it wasn't until I met my mentor, multi-7-figure, maybe even 8 or 9-figure mentor, who taught me one of the most important things you need to be successful in life is a solid morning routine and a good personal development plan. And in that plan, it needs to consist of 3 things. Every single morning, you need to make sure you're getting better mentally, physically, and spiritually. I came into the life insurance industry only wanting to get better financially. So when I told my mentor, I'm looking to make 100 grand my first year and I want to make millions of dollars eventually, he said, you're focused on the wrong thing. It's not about how to make the money. It's about who can make that money, because you have to become before it comes to you. So how do you do that, people ask? Well, it starts with an intentional plan every single morning before the workday starts on personal development, mentally, physically, and spiritually. I'm 25 years old. I've made multiple 7 figures since starting with this company. And other than crediting it all to God, because God has blessed me and I believe all my blessings come from Him, second to that, I believe it's because of the person I've been trying to become and my intentional work that I spend every single day in the mornings, becoming a better person so I can lead more people and earn more income. So for my morning routine that I learned from my mentor, and I'd highly recommend you implement this into your life as well, it starts with every day, my first alarm goes off at 3:50 a.m. I shouldn't say my first alarm, but my alarm goes off at 3:50 a.m. I wake up and the first thing I do, because I keep God first in everything that I do, my time and my finances, so I want to make sure every day I keep God first. I want it to be the first thing that I do. I open my Bible and I read a chapter from the book of Proverbs. And the reason that I read a chapter from the book of Proverbs is because every single month, there's like 30 days in the month. And in the book of Proverbs, I think there's like about 30 chapters. So what I do is, today is, I think, May 19th. So I'm going to read, or I already read, Proverbs 19. But on June 1st, I'll read Proverbs 1. June 2nd, Proverbs 2. And what Proverbs is the book of wisdom, teaching people how to live a wise life and be blessed abundantly so you can be successful God's way. And there's a bunch of principles that you can learn from reading Proverbs that if you implement into your life, it's going to make a big difference. One of them being, don't sleep around and cheat on your wife or hang with a bunch of girls. Another one being, you shouldn't drink too much alcohol, if any. I don't drink any alcohol. Another one being, it literally talks about all the time, lazy people are soon to be poor, hard workers will eventually be rich. So there's so many good life lessons that you can learn in Proverbs to make sure the way you're living and your actions are aligning with what it says to do in the Bible. So that's the first thing I do every single day. From there, I get to the gym. I get to the gym between 4:30 and 4:50 every single morning, and I do a workout. And I don't just go in and do a workout and like walk on the treadmill. I do something that's hard and I push myself to the limits every single day to build mental toughness. It's not even just about the body. It's really more about the mental toughness, because to be successful in business, you have to do things that you don't want to do. In sales, calls can get boring and monotonous. You need to have the mental toughness to force yourself to make the calls even when you don't want to. So the reason I hit the gym at 4:30 is not because I like waking up at 4:30. It's because it sucks, but I'm callousing my mind and my brain to do it anyway, even though I don't want to, because I know in life, to be successful, you're going to have to do things that you don't want to do. So I'm fully committed to waking up early and hitting the gym and doing a super hard workout. The hard part's not even the workout. I mean, that can be hard, squatting 4 plates or benching 3 plates, whatever it may be. But the really hard part that's going to strengthen your mind is committing to waking up early every single day. And again, the reason for the early wake up, there's a few reasons, but one of them is to build that mental toughness and train your mind to do things that you don't want to do. After the gym, I return back to my home. And this is the part that nobody sees, but this is the best part of my morning routine. Another reason I wake up extra early is because by the time I'm done at the gym, it's still super early. 95% of the people in this country aren't even awake yet. which means it's super quiet. There's no distractions. Nobody's texting me. Nobody's calling me. Nobody's walking around on the streets. There's not many cars out. So I get into an alone place, completely alone, phone set aside, turned off. I read the Bible. I try to read through the whole Bible. And then I spend time in prayer. And then I turn on worship music and sit there for at least 20, 30 minutes, praying to God to speak to me, tell me what I should do today, tell me who I should contact, what do I do with my life, and just asking God to lead me and guide me. But the reason that I do it super early is because I believe it's hard to hear the voice of God when there's a lot going on. So if you try doing this in the middle of the day and your phone's ringing, you're stressed thinking about what you're missing on work, or there's people walking everywhere, cars, it's going to be hard to really tune into the Holy Spirit and hear the voice of God. But if you do it at 6 a.m. before anyone's awake and it's still dark, it's the best thing ever. And all big decisions I ever make in my life, before I actually commit to it, I spend this alone time in the morning asking God if this is what I should do. And you can try it. You'll hear the whisper. He'll tell you exactly what to do every single time. And even if it doesn't make sense, every time I listen to it, it ends up being the best thing for me. So that's the spiritual development part. The Proverbs plus reading the Bible and spending time in prayer and spending intentional time listening for the Holy Spirit. That's the spiritual part. The gym is obviously the physical part, but then there's also the mental part too. You need to strengthen your mindset. So for me, every single morning, I watch a motivational video on YouTube, whether it's David Goggins, Andy Elliott, Ed Milet, Andy Frisella, Tony Robbins, whatever it may be. There's so many good ones. And people might think those are corny, but it's actually helped me so much. Learn how successful people think. Think about this. People pay hundreds of thousands of dollars to go to college and sit there and learn nonsense from broke people who I would never trade places with a college professor. God bless them, but they're not doing what I want to do. You can go on YouTube for free and learn from some of the most successful people in the world and how they think. In the Bible, it says, as a man thinketh, so is he. So is he. These people on YouTube are 9-figure millionaires or even billionaires giving you advice on how to think and what to do with your life for free. So if you can learn how these people think and you can train yourself to think like that, you can get the same results they get. So I do that every single morning to learn how successful people think, strengthen my mindset, and become a better person. And to wrap it all up, that's the how, but the reason for personal development is because in business and in sales and in life, the reason most people aren't successful is because to be successful, you have to go through a lot of stress and there's a lot of pressure. And there's only a few ways people deal with stress and pressure. Number one is by quitting and resorting to the easier, comfier route. The easy, comfy route's never gonna make you successful. That's why it's easy and comfy. Most people can do it, and if most people can do it, they're not gonna pay you well. To relate that to sales is sometimes sales gets hard. Maybe you have a bad week or a bad month where you're not hitting the numbers that you would like to. Instead of pushing through, because successful people always have those rough seasons too, but they push through and get better. Broke people quit because they can't handle the stress and the pressure of not getting that instant gratification that they're looking for. So that's one way people deal with stress. They quit. Another way is drugs and alcohol. So to be successful, I'm sure you guys know there's some super rich people out there, but they drink a ton, they do drugs, their lifestyle is terrible. It's because they're probably dealing with a lot of stress and their only way to cope with it is by running to drugs or alcohol, which is not gonna help them out long term. The third way to deal with stress is by becoming the type of person that can handle any stress, because you know, with God on my side, I can handle anything. So every morning when you speak to him, if you're dealing with stress, he'll whisper into your ear that everything's gonna be okay. This too shall pass. With God, all things are possible, so you have nothing to worry about. And you have to become the type of person that can handle the pressure, and it's those people that can push through and become successful. Guys, if you like this video, subscribe to the YouTube, much more to come. Drop a like, drop a comment. The best is yet to come. God is great. If you wanna join the virtual sales team, we run an interview every Monday at 8 p.m. The link will be in the description and it's in my Instagram bio. God is great, let's get it.